Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Maury's favorite segment, The Moment in History. Today we discuss the nation's first celebrity president and the effect he had on the American youth. Maury?
In the 3 years that John Fitzgerald Kennedy was president, young people loved him, whether they were in Germany, whether they're in France, all over the world. Young people finally felt this man shows us the way to the future. He's one of us. He was 46 years old. Actually, so was Teddy Roosevelt, but Teddy Roosevelt, of course, was not known as necessarily as a young person. Anyway, I love the man. You know why I love him? Because I wouldn't have succeeded in business if it weren't for John F. Kennedy. Because when the owner of the business, which was bought out by a larger corporation, was looking for a successor after he died, there were 3 people involved. One guy was 58 years old. He was a manufacturing guy. The other guy was 62 years old, the financial guy. I was just a guy who was going out and picking up orders, didn't know anything about personnel, didn't know anything about working with unions and manufacturing and so on. Well, guess what? They picked me. You know why? And the man who was chairman of the parent company said,
sterling good looks?
Well, that was part of it. The real thing was that we were both members of the Young Presidents Organization. I had just come in, he had just gone out, and he said, you know, it's time that we give a young man a break. Look at that, we got the President of the United States. He's wonderful, he really goes over well with the people. He's prominent, he foreign policy, he stood up to Khrushchev.
And talk about how much JFK loved America.
JFK loved
He
America.
was the poster child for the All-American boy.
He was the best speaker we ever had in the White House. He said, don't ask what America could do for you, ask what you can do for America. And he was a real patriot. He also came out of the war, you know, PT 109. This is where he got all his problems with his back and everything, painkillers that he had to take all the time. That time, his womanizing was not too well known, but it was in the history. That's not a factor. The man was beloved, and the young people said, you know, we're 30 years old. It means there's a future for us, and that was destroyed when he died.
Sent the first man to the moon.
He didn't. He was the one that created the momentum for it. He was followed by one of the most vicious, devious guy in American history.
And you actually have your suspicions about the demise of
I don't think there's any question
President Kennedy.
I have. Lyndon Johnson was the only one who really gained by his death. It wasn't the gang in Chicago. It wasn't Castro.
And it wasn't the Communist Party.
And I can't hardly make that statement because I have no evidence other than circumstantial evidence.
Which is what?
Which is what that he was begged by.
Motive?
No, he set up the trip to Texas. He said he should be in an open car so people could see him. He published his itinerary so that everybody knew exactly where he was at every minute. Too many unusual circumstances all came together, plus the fact that Bobby Kennedy had convinced John not to have Johnson on the ticket coming the next November of 1964, and Johnson knew about this.
And so Johnson's rise to the presidency doesn't happen if
would have never happened.
If this tragic accident doesn't happen.
No. If he had not been assassinated, Johnson would not have even.
Kennedy would have won a second term.
He would have had somebody else.
He would have kicked Johnson off the ticket and had somebody else.
It was already proven that his brother Robert, who was Attorney General, convinced him that Johnson was not the way to go.
Well, that wraps up another edition of the World Report television program. If you want to see the show again or catch a segment that you missed, just go to our website, theworldreport.org. For Maury Beschloss and all the wonderful folks who volunteer to keep us safe in a wonderful, crazy world, God willing, we'll see each other again.